This YCN segment is brought to you by M.J. Harrington and Company, jewelers and designers since 1948.
Welcome in, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide in studio. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. And as Bill Belichick would say, we're on to Christmas. So here we go. The season has not quite begun, but the Patriots season continues to roll. Big win against the Dolphins, 35-17 victory. Your thoughts on that game as a whole? I was watching it, and obviously they looked great, up 14-0 early in the first 5 minutes.
Right.
But then they kind of slowed down. A couple offensive line, a couple struggles. But overall, a good win. And against the Dolphins team, you're going to see in a couple of weeks again down in Miami.
Right, yeah, I think it was a good win. It was close at times, but we've seen this Patriots team a lot of times in years past. They've kind of gotten up big and then kind of slowed down at the end. I think it's kind of what happened, but it was kind of nice seeing what the Patriots used to do, because this season we've seen some kind of weird games, and their defense is finally becoming solid enough. And now they're 9-2. I mean, this is looking like a normal New England team again. Finally, it feels good. And yeah, I think they're going to be one of the better teams come the end of the season for sure.
Yeah, still haven't lost since way back at the beginning of the season. It seems like ages ago, when they started off with that brutal loss against Kansas City and then losing at home, undefeated still on the road, so they're looking good as they go to Buffalo. But that offensive line, are you worried? I know they had a replacement center, Karras, who fought, I guess the snap was a little off to Brady, but Brady got hit quite a bit, and it's that age now where you take a couple wrong hits and Brady's not just popping back up like he used to. Is that a cause for concern, or is it just, that's the NFL?
I think it's definitely a cause for concern. I mean, Brady at this point, 40 years old, he can't continue to have games like this, and with Sue coming and walking all over him like that. It's a little dangerous seeing that, and it's definitely worrisome. But what was it? Adrian Waddle?
Yeah.
I know he came out of the game. Did he return?
I'm not sure if he returned, but they definitely have some pieces.
Well, he was plugging a hole, and now that he's injured, that's definitely. I think they definitely need to shore up that offensive line if they want to keep sending out Tom on the field. I mean, they definitely have to provide some more protection for him.
Do you have a problem with them not benching Brady, when they're up? I mean, they were not big. It was down to, an 11-point game at one point. Right. So it wasn't like they were up huge, but even the announcers said, I'm surprised Tom's still out there. But is it one of those things where Belichick even addressed it in the press conference? He doesn't sit him down until the game's in hand.
Yeah, I think with Bill, I think he's not going to take a starting quarterback out until, he's up by 4 or 5 scores when it's completely over. And that game, I think the final score was maybe...
Yeah, it was 35-17.
35-17.
But thanks to a late touchdown. It was 28-17.
Oh, right, yeah.
And the Patriots got the ball back and they got a late touchdown. So it was kind of a close game.
Yeah, it was a close game. I don't blame Bill for doing it. I think when you have a quarterback who's 40 years old, as durable as Tom has been throughout his career, I think he might have to start thinking that way. But I think toward the end of the game, I thought he was, he didn't take as many crazy hits. And then he came out just to kneel the ball. I don't think it was a huge risk. I think we might be, or the media might be kind of overdoing it a little bit.
Right.
But I think that's definitely something Bill should consider in the future.
And it will be interesting because you've got, you're at Buffalo this week, and then you're at Miami the next week. Then you got that game against Pittsburgh, and we'll talk about that. That's probably going to be, and we've talked about that all season. That looks like the biggest game. On a different note, Martellus Bennett goes on IR. His season with the Patriots didn't last too long. I mean, he had the 1 week where he made some catches against the Broncos that first week. It just never seemed like it was a fit. It sounded like, okay, maybe it's a cool story, but it seemed like both sides were kind of grasping at straws to make it work, like last year.
Right, yeah. I was when I heard that Bennett was coming back, I was definitely excited. But obviously, last year, you didn't have Gronk for a ton of the season, so Bennett was going to be more of a factor then. But this year, with a healthy Gronk and with Dwayne Allen playing, he wasn't going to get nearly as many reps. And also, when he came to the Pats, I know with Green Bay, he had an injury that he was playing through and was maybe going to get surgery, so it was kind of a question of how much Bennett was actually going to play. And now he's finally going down with an injury, done for the year. So, it's kind of, it's not what I had hoped, but I guess kind of really what I expected.
Right, and it didn't really cost them anything. They tried it didn't work out, so oh well. So, okay, before we hit the first break, Patriots, AFC Championship game. Kind of a disappointment if they don't get there. I know that's all the Patriot haters. I know all you people watching over in New York and the Giants fans. You got your own problems to worry about. But the Patriots haters, if the Patriots don't get to the AFC Championship game, it's a disappointment.
I think it's a disappointment if they don't make it to the Super Bowl and if they don't win a Super Bowl.
Right,
I mean, really, if they make it to the Super Bowl and don't win, that's a huge disappointment, obviously. But I mean, I think once again, championship or bust. That's what this team at the beginning of the year kind of was shaky. Not sure if I felt that way, but now I do agree with that championship or bust.
Right now, the last few weeks of the season, it looks like it's shaping up to be that as well. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk some more NFL, a little AFC, and how the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to fare against the Patriots in a few weeks. Then also the NFC. Can anyone catch the Philadelphia Eagles? We'll take a break. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.